Okay, so you've done it. You've gotten through the basics of Python. You know the syntax, you've made your first scripts run, and now you're kind of just staring at that blinking cursor, thinking, what do I actually build now? If that's you, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to lay out the roadmap that takes you from Hello World to building something you're really proud of. Let's dive in. It's such a classic moment for anyone learning to code. You finish that first big tutorial, and you get this amazing rush of, I did it. But then, almost immediately, it's followed by this feeling of, uh, am I on my own now? You've got these new skills, but where do you point them? Don't worry, literally every developer has been there. Today, we're going to turn that now what into a clear here's what's next. So here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with the official map, the real source of truth. Then, we'll talk about adding some powerful tools to your backpack. After that, we'll peek into some of the more advanced territories you can explore. And finally, we'll cover the most important rule: never travel alone. All right, first stop, and honestly, it's the most critical one. Before you go off exploring, you've got to learn how to read the map. And for any Python developer, that map is the core documentation. Let's be real for a second. Nobody gets excited about reading documentation. But you want to know a secret? The official docs are your superpower. Seriously, tutorials are great for getting started, but the docs are the absolute final word on everything, written by the people who actually created Python. Getting into the habit of checking them isn't just a good practice, it is the single fastest way to go from feeling like a beginner to thinking like a pro. The main documentation is really split into two big parts. First, you have the Python standard library reference. This tells you what you have. It's your inventory of all the tools that come right in the box with Python, for things like working with files, connecting to the internet, you name it. Then you have the Python language reference. This is the how it all works manual. Yeah, it's pretty dense reading, but it is the ultimate rulebook. You'll go there when you need to understand why Python behaves the way it does. Okay, so you know what tools Python gives you for free. But now it's time to really expand your toolkit. The true power of Python is its community, which has created this unbelievable ecosystem of code that you can just grab and use in your own projects. And the place you find all of this stuff is the Python package index, or what everyone calls PyPI. The best way to think about it? It's like a giant app store, but for Python code. It's this massive, searchable library of tools for pretty much anything you can imagine. Pro tip, before you ever start building something from scratch, always check PyPI first. Odds are somebody has already built and shared an amazing tool that does exactly what you need. And here's a fun little piece of trivia for you. For a while, PyPI was nicknamed the Cheese Shop. It's actually an on to a famous Monty Python sketch, which just kind of shows you the slightly quirky, fun-loving spirit behind the whole Python community. So you know what tools are out there, both built in and from the community. But how do you actually see them in action? How do you see them used to solve real problems? Well, that's where the Python cookbook comes in. This isn't about theory at all. It's 100% about practical code. It's basically a collection of recipes, scripts and code snippets that solve very specific real-world problems. It's one of the best ways to learn because you get to see how experienced pros structure their code and tackle the same challenges you're facing. Okay, once you have a solid foundation and you know how to find tools, you can start to specialize. And one of the areas where Python absolutely shines is in scientific computing. Let's just take a quick look at what that means. At the heart of this world is the SciPy project. It's really a collection of tools designed for high-speed math, science, and engineering tasks. What it does is give you the power of a supercomputer for really complex number crunching, but with the friendly, easy-to-use syntax of Python. It's the engine that lets researchers and data scientists do some truly incredible work. So what can you actually do with something like SciPy? Well, we're talking about heavy-duty stuff. Advanced linear algebra, signal processing using Fourier transforms, solving complex equations, generating specific random number distributions, and doing really deep statistical analysis. This isn't just theory, this is the toolkit that's powering cutting-edge research in labs all over the globe. And now for the final, and I'd argue most important part of your journey, realizing that you are not in this alone. Python has one of the most active, helpful, and welcoming communities you will ever find in tech. So where are these people? The two main hubs are an online news group and a mailing list. And the cool part is, they're connected, so a post to one shows up on the other. But the most valuable thing of all? Every single conversation is archived online. That means there's a huge searchable database of questions and answers that's been growing for years. But that also means there are hundreds and hundreds of messages flying back and forth every single day. So, to be a good community member and get the best help possible, there's a little bit of etiquette, a simple process to follow before you ask your question. It's really simple. Step 1, always check the FAQ, the frequently asked questions. A lot of common hurdles are already cleared there. Step 2, search the archives. It is so likely that someone has wrestled with your exact problem before. Then, step 3, if you've done both of those and you're still stuck, it's time to post your question. Just be clear, provide details, and you'll find that people are incredibly willing to help. And there you have it. That's the path. It takes you from finishing that first tutorial to becoming a real, capable member of the Python world. You've got your map, you know how to fill your toolkit, and you know where to find help along the way. Your journey as a creator, a builder, is really just beginning. So the only question left is, what are you going to build first?